Welcome to Morimoto Lighting. I'm Bear Dellinger, and today we're going to be doing some 4Banger installs for the JL Jeep body style. But before we get into the install, let's tell you why the 4Bangers are one of the best pod lights on the market today. So the 4Bangers, we have two different levels. We have an entry level, which uses a Nichia chip, and we call this the NCS version. Now we have the secondary level. This is for the premium users, the off-roading, the top dog of pod lights. This application uses the OSRAM chip, and we call it the HXB or the HX Boost. So once you decide what application level you would like, you will then move on to what driving pattern you want. We have three different patterns to choose from: Spotlight, the wide, or a combo driving pattern. We have all three patterns in an amber or white. So with our wide pattern, many people are more so drawn to the wide pattern to help increase night visibility and to use it as a fog light replacement. No matter if you choose the NCS or the HX Boost pod light, you will experience the same driving beam pattern. Now with our combo beam pattern, it is a super cool spot beam with a little bit more fill. It still stacks up to the competition very well, but remember, most people will choose the white beam pattern over something like this. Now onto the spot beam pattern. Still an incredible bright beam pattern that is tight. It looks like a square that is done on purpose because we at Morimoto know a thing or two about beam patterns. All three patterns come in either a white or amber color. But one thing to note is your light output would be a little bit less with the yellow lenses. On the higher end, the HXB uses the OSRAM chip, but it doesn't come in yellow. The white light has to pass through the yellow lens and losing about 30% of its brightness. Still an incredible option. Something neat about the entry level, those Nichia chips do come in a yellow option. Having a yellow light pass through a yellow lens, it doesn't lose as much, so the light output is closely matched to that of the white counterpart. The overall footprint of the 4Banger is approximately 30% smaller than alternatives that offer comparable performance. This allows for an unbeatable 3OEM Plus light fitment when paired with Morimoto's fog light or A-pillar mounting kits. With a standard -3-degree aim, the beam pattern produced by the NCS wide beam model is designed to be compliant with the latest SAE F3 regulations for use as a street legal fog light. Now the HXB wide beam has a very similar beam pattern, but too much intensity to be considered a street legal fog light. And lastly, the Morimoto 4Bangers are backed up with a limited lifetime warranty. So enough talking about the product, let's get straight into the install. All right, so first things first you're gonna do is remove these 4 bolts on your side cowl. You're gonna be using a T40 for this. With the side piece, all you have to do is slide it right out and set it aside. Now that you have both side cowls removed, you can go ahead and pop the hood. Oh, there we go. So now we're gonna go ahead and start running the wiring harness. First off, we're going to mount is the relay. Now when mounting this, make sure that it is vertical so there's no water intrusion later on after you get it fully installed. We're gonna mount ours right where this ground area is. And we're just gonna use zip ties. Of course, when mounting this, it's whatever your preference is. If you want to bore out the hole a little bit more and put it in a different mounting area, you totally can. So first things first, you're gonna locate your AUX wires. It's gonna be on the very side where your battery is. What you're gonna do is unravel the tape around the harness and it will reveal 4 different wires. We're gonna actually be tapping into AUX 4. If you want, refer over to your owner's manual and figure out what all the other wires are for. But once you look at whatever AUX that you're gonna use, you're going to use your wire strippers. So you're gonna take the OEM part of the harness and we're going to use a waterproof butt connector. You're gonna slide that straight in and then you're just going to push that side down. Next, you'll take your OEM Morimoto harness and slide it into the opposite side and also clamp that side down. Okay, now that you have everything plugged into the OEM AUX harness, you can then just wrap up the tape and then tuck it back in there nicely while having the butt connector still exposed. So now that you have everything connected, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the switch harness. When you receive your harness, it already comes with a Morimoto switch. But since we're using the AUX on the OEM Gladiator, we're going to go ahead and disconnect that. So all you have to do is loosen this area on the barrel connector. And then it'll slide right off just like so. And then you'll take the other harness that you connected into your AUX area and then connect it to the Morimoto harness. Make sure that these are tightened down pretty good so that it makes it fully waterproof. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and route the harness to your 4-bangers. We're gonna be using light number 2 for the passenger 4-banger. It's very simple. All you have to do is take the harness, and there's this rubber piece area to allow no water to get into your engine bay. You're just gonna lift that up a smidge, and you're just gonna take the harness and just route it up towards where your 4-banger is gonna be sitting. Now for the driver's side 4-banger, we're gonna be using light number 1. With your 4-banger kit, it does come with an extension harness. You're going to just go ahead and plug that in. And then you're just going to route this harness over to the driver's side. Now when routing your harness and making everything look nice and clean, that is up to your preference. You can use zip ties, you can actually take the cowl up and tuck it underneath there, but that's all up to you. We're just showing you how to do the install right now. And on the driver's side, you're gonna do the exact same thing that you did to the passenger side. You're just gonna run the harness up through that styrofoam piece. And of course, there's gonna be some excess, but that's okay, we can tuck that later on. So before we go ahead and mount up the Morimoto A-pillar bracket, we're gonna go ahead and mount the 4-banger onto it first. So first things first, you're going to take your bolt that comes with your U-bracket. Make sure that the U-bracket is facing forward like a C. Once that's in place, you'll take the washer that's included, and then you'll take the nut. Now, there's no need to tighten this fully down. You can do this at the very end, but once you do tighten it down, you'll be using a 17 wrench. So now you'll just slide your 4-banger and light it up with the holes that's on the side of your U-bracket. You'll then use the screws that are provided with the kit and tighten those down and set it in place. And when tightening these down, you'll be using a T30. Also, the side of these screws will help you adjust the vertical angle of your 4-banger. So now that you have the bracket and 4-banger fully installed together, you're gonna go ahead and plug it up to your Morimoto harness. And once that's done, you can now go ahead and reinstall your side cowl. You might find it easier to go ahead and remove the antenna to give you a little bit more clearance for removing that side marker cowl. So just be very careful when sliding the side marker cowl back in place. Once it is in place, you'll then take the black Morimoto spacers that come with your kit. You're gonna put that on the very base of the 4-banger A-pillar mount. Once those are there, you're going to take the extended long bolts and put those in place where the OEM bolts were. You're gonna tighten those bolts down with a V4, and then on the very side of your side cowl, you're going to use your OEM bolts and tighten those down as well. So lastly, all you have to do is connect the battery. What you'll do is loosen up the positive and negative bolts on each side, and then slide the 2 terminals down, and then tighten those, and you're good to go. A really cool feature about the JL body types, if you have the AUX option, you can go into settings, click on AUX switches. We have our 4-bangers routed on the AUX 4, and you can choose your power source. You can either go from battery or ignition. So it will run exactly off the battery. If you click AUX 4, it actually cuts on, or you can put it on ignition and it only runs on when the ignition is on. So it's all depending on your preference on how you're wanting to do it. So we're gonna just keep ours on battery so it runs and we have our 4-bangers shining nice and bright. All right guys, well it is easy as that to install our Morimoto 4-bangers on your JL A-pillars. If you'd like to know what else we have for your body style, just go over to our website and put your year, make, and model and see what we have in store for you. Thanks guys for tuning in, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.